Namaskar. We are joined by Ms. Chitra Gupta, who is the Deputy Director General for Hallmarking and Trading at Bureau of Indian Standards, and Mr. Ankur Goel, who is the President, works at MMTC PAMS, the India's only London Bullion Market Association accredited refinery in India. Thank you for speaking to us. Gold hallmarking has become the safeguard for a customer to look forward for when he or she purchases the gold. We'd like to hear your views on how hallmarking has evolved in this country, what was the need, and where is it going? Ms. Gupta, I'll start with you.
Yeah, thank you for this question. I'll say the gold hallmarking started in the year 2000. There was a Precious Metals Committee in RBI, which mandated BIS to go for the precious metals standards and hallmarking. So we started in 2000 on a voluntary basis. We set up its standards. There are two standards for gold hallmarking: IS 1417, which specifies the parameters for the gold, various caratages, various fineness, and IS 1418, which talks about the testing of the gold. So based on these two standards, we started with the hallmarking scheme in the year 2000. And we continued it for years till 2021 when we made it mandatory. In those days, in 2008, when the government was planning to make it mandatory, we don't have any provision in our Act, BIS Act of 1986. There was no provision for precious metal hallmarking. So we have to bring that provision. Our Act was becoming an issue. We could not do it. So we were doing it on the basis of the mandate given by the RBI till then. Then we had this provision in our Act in 2016, where we can have the gold hallmarking in according to our Act and regulations. So after 2016, we started working on how to make it mandatory. Now, for making it mandatory, if you see, our gold industry is so huge. Number of jewelers are so huge. Doing it physically like we do it in our all other product certification, it is not possible. So we need to have digital solutions for it. So we started with the digitization of our hallmarking work. That we started in 2018, starting with the jewelers registration first. Digital portal we started for their registration. Then we started working. If you see hallmarking, what is hallmarking actually? It is checking the purity of gold with respect to its fineness. Fineness, we talk of purity, like in the common language, if we see the gold, people talk about 24 karat gold, 22, 20, 18, 14. Then based on the feedback from the various stakeholders, we introduced a caratage of 23 karat also. So these caratages list out the purity of the gold depending on how much pure it is. 24K means it is almost 100% pure. 999 or 99.9% we can say. 22 is 91.6%. We call it 916 when we talk in fineness. That is the purity. So that is how we have got all these grades. So based on these grades, how to test it? We have to have a testing method for it. And the agency who will do it. So BIS was a platform which developed this scheme for the jewelers to get their products tested for purity. Then we need the testing infrastructure. So for those testing infrastructure, we have assaying and hallmarking centers. In short, we call them as AHCs. And they are not owned by BIS. They are the private entities, which are set up by individuals who wanted to go for the testing. BIS only does the audit of those AHCs, whether they have the capability and the competence to do the testing as per the BIS standards and hallmark the jewelry. So the whole system works like this. A manufacturer or a jeweler who makes the jewelry, he makes it according to the customer requirement or the need of the market, and he gives it to the assaying and hallmarking center to check its purity and hallmark it. Okay. So once they test it, if the purity is okay as declared by the jeweler, they will hallmark it. That is the whole process that goes into making it hallmark jewelry available to the consumer.
Okay. Let me take you a little back. The mandatory hallmarking was started in 2021. What was the need? What was the urgency felt of doing this? Were the traditional jewelers who sold jewelry, were they not so reliable enough? What was the need that take us through that. What went behind BI's thinking on that?
Yeah. See, traditional, I mean, it was a very close-knit business. People goes by trust.
Right.
For generations to generations, jewelry is sold and taken back and again sold, but nobody knows what is the purity of the gold. It is basically value for money. Actually, in 2006, we got a survey done. And out of that, you won't believe it, more than 90% of the sample failed in purity.
90%?
Yes.
That's a huge.
Undervalued. So the government thought ki now we need to build a consumer trust on it. That is where the hallmarking comes into picture. And I can tell you today, when we test the samples from the market, 92% or more, 95% of the sample passes in the testing. So that is where the trust has come in the industry.
Right. So that was the need.
That was the need of the hour, so that consumer gets value for money. And it was a big challenge for us. So when we made it mandatory, we started with the places where we had the assaying and hallmarking centers.
So now is it available across the country now? All centers, all places, all cities, towns?
No. Right now we have 380 districts where we have this assaying and hallmarking centers, and those districts are under mandatory hallmarking schemes. That is 50% of India. But we got another survey done 2 years down the line, just 2 years back, in the districts which are not mandatory. And from that market survey, we realized people are aware of hallmarking and they are purchasing hallmark jewelry. And it is available in those districts. So we can say, even if we don't have centers, even if officially we have not covered those districts under mandatory certification, people are able to get the hallmark jewelry and they are demanding it.
And one of the things that people like the people that you talked about would be seeking is the hallmark unique identification number, 6-digit number. Yeah. How is it generated? What is the process? What goes around in generating that number? Is it like a unique identification number that we all have?
Yeah. So what I told you, we started developing our digital solutions for it. Without those digital solutions, we cannot go for the hallmarking. So what we did was these assaying and hallmarking centers. The main testing aspects is the XRF, which gives you the approximate purity. Then we have the fire assaying method, which gives the exact purity of the product. And then there is marking. Now, we need to give some marking to it. So we developed a unique code, which is a 6-digit alphanumeric code. It could be all alphabets, all numbers, or a combination of both for each and every article. So when your article is tested, its value, all AHCs are integrated with our system, with our portal. So whenever they are doing the testing, when the testing is complete, each and every step is recorded in our system. And when the testing is complete, then our system will generate that unique HUID code. It is not taken by AHCs or jeweler, by anybody. It is generated from our system. The moment testing is completed, our system comes to know testing is complete. Then it will generate that HUID code. Then through that laser machine, it is engraved on the article, and then that article goes back to the jeweler for selling.
Okay, layman's question. Many people, common people would also get the jewelry remade. So if I have a unique identification number on a particular set of article, if I get it remade, what happens to that? Does it undergo a change? Does it need to be
it will be retested and recertified, again re-hallmarked.
Re-hallmarked. Okay. So let me come to the saying the centers that you have. How many do you have in the country, and what is the plan to increase the numbers?
Look, this is a market-driven activity. So we have, as of now, more than about 1,600 assaying and hallmarking centers. We started with somewhere about 900 in 2021. And today we have about 1,600 assaying and hallmarking centers doing across India in 381 districts, as I have said. And they are able to hallmark the jewelry. And because hallmarking is done at the first point of sale. So a big manufacturer may be manufacturing at a particular district, he's getting it hallmarked, then he's selling it across India. That is why hallmark jewelry is available across India. It is not necessary, it should be there at each and every place. So whosoever manufactures it has to get it hallmarked.
Right.
So that is why even if we don't have ASCs all across India, but still hallmark jewelry is available in the country. And I must say, every year we are hallmarking more than 12 crore articles. So since 2021, we have hallmarked more than 60 crore articles, what is available in the market.
Mr. Goel, I want to come to you. 2 lakh jewelers are already registered with the BIS portal. Was there a resistance by the industry when this hallmarking was mandatory, was introduced in 2021? How has the industry reacted to the whole hallmarking scheme of things that was introduced?
Yeah, as you said, we MMTC PAMP is an LBMA accredited refinery, and for us, testing is a very important criteria. And we also, during 21, ventured into the journey of hallmarking, and we know exactly what happened. The resistance which was faced was the initial teething problems which was there with the whole process. Initially, when the system was built, there were software issues, the bugs. But I would really accredit BIS, which they really followed it, and all those system bugs were removed. And after that, they really went ahead to even make it more standardized. So initially, those problems of the whole the essay going into digital form to the hallmark to the BIS portal was a bit of a nervous issue with the with the hallmarking centers, I would say. But once the process streamlined within a year time, because it took time, and once the process streamlined, I think then slowly people understood. There were problems where sometimes the software was not working, and if they are hallmarking, their whole lot would get stuck up.
Right.
But I would say this was a momentary hiccup. After that, once it improved, and what I've seen is they have strengthened the system. Now, if I say there are 5 steps, the first step is XRF testing, as ma'am said, and then we have the sample taking. For every 40 pieces, we take out 1 sample, which goes to the fire assay testing using the IS 1418 testing standard. After the fire assay testing, then it is hallmarked with the 6-digit this thing. So now the system is like all the XRF, which is 100%, goes directly to the BIS portal. So I think initially there was a hiccup with people, but it streamlined as it went forward.
So there's also a common myth that hallmark jewelries are more expensive than non-hallmark jewelry. Is it true? Is it actually a norm that the...
So if you see today with the current prices of gold going up to, for a gram, going up to almost 1,50,000, BIS for hallmarking is taking a royalty, I would say, or a charges, which is only rupees 45 per piece, which if you see works out to be only 0.3% for a 1 gram of a jewelry. Right. And if with that value, and where the jewelers, when they are making a margin or when they are selling it at whatever value, maybe 5%, 10%, 20%, this is a very small amount. So I don't think so there should be any issue with the increase of price because it's an hallmark jewelry. The only thing what has added to it is it has created more trust.
Okay.
People who buy the jewelry is now confident that, okay, if it is 22 carat, they're buying 22 carat. If it's 18, they're buying 18 carat jewelry.
So there are customers who would come and say, I want a hallmark jewelry upfront rather than go to any...
Yeah, because that's what happens is the moment they ask for the hallmark jewelry and then they ask for seeing the HUID, there is also a system where they can check it out.
Okay.
So the more trust is built in the...
So does this hallmarking also work for, say, rose gold or white gold? Is it also applicable on those kind of gold as well?
See, what happens if you see there are 3 types of gold which are currently going on. It's yellow gold, white gold, and rose gold. But if you see the background of all these 3, it is the purity of gold. There can be a rose gold in 22 carat or a white gold in 22 carat or in 18 carat. But the purity of gold is 91.6% gold in 22 carat, and in the 18 carat it's 75%. And the IS 1418 standard gives, there's a slight change if it is a white gold or a rose gold in terms of how you test it. But end of the day, you have to follow the IS 1418 standard, and it's the same.
HUID codes were only for gold. Now they have been extended to silver. Why did you feel the need to do that? I'm addressing the question to both Mr. Gupta and Mr. Goel as well.
So, when we saw that gold is getting a unique number and customers are comfortable with it, they can easily identify what they have bought. So, we felt in silver also, if we make this provision, it will be more acceptable to the consumer at large. And I tell you, we started doing HUID on silver since 1st September 2025. And if we go by the figures, last year till in 1 year, normally for silver hallmarking, we were doing about 12 lakh articles a day because it is voluntary scheme, it is not mandatory. But since 1st September 2025, when we introduced HUID, in last 6 months, we have hallmarked more than 30 lakhs of silver articles. Because, jewelers are also comfortable with it. AHCs are also comfortable with the same marking, same machine they have to use for doing the hallmarking. And that HUID is again generated from our system only. So their trust is more on HUID. And it is very easy to verify for any consumer what they are buying.
But the trade that happens for gold and silver are slightly different. Silver is traded more in bulk rather than in large quantities rather than gold. Gold is like one would buy a tola or a 2 tola so how does the HUID then work for silver in that case?
Because look, we are not going by weight. It is by article.
Okay.
Article weight could be 100 grams or 1 kg or whatever. I am putting that HUID on each article. So HUID has got nothing to do with the volume or the bulk. Number of it goes by the article. So whether it is a gold article or it is a silver article, on each article I am hallmarking it with HUID.
So as a customer, if I go to a jewelry shop to buy, and if there's suspicion, I get suspicious that this may not be a genuine HUID, that code that has been generated. Is there any way that I can check if it's original or a duplicate or a fabricated one?
Yeah.
How do I do that?
We have one-stop solution of BIS Care App.
Okay.
So I will request all the consumers to download BIS Care App. It is available on iOS or Android phones, free of cost. From any app store, you can download the app. And in that app, we have one feature of Verify HUID. Right. So you just click on that tab, feed that 6-digit alphanumeric code there, you will get all details. You will get the details of the article, what is the article, the purity of the article, the details of the assaying and hallmarking center which has hallmarked it, and the registration number of the jeweler who has sold it. So all those details are available in BIS Care App. If your HUID matches with it, you will know the type of article you have purchased and the purity of that article. If it matches with it, that means it is genuine.
Mr. Goel, a lot of people these days buy jewelry as well as bullion online. So how does one ensure that whatever I'm buying online is of hallmarked and of the quality and quantity that is being offered on the screen?
So in the online case, the moment a person is buying online, say a gold or silver, so though HUID is written on the piece of jewelry, it's not visible until as they have it physical. So what they can do is they can check who is the jeweler selling. They can always check that jeweler is registered with BIS or not. That's the first check they can do. And after that, once they receive the jewelry, they can always see what is the HUID. They'll have to use a bit of a lens to see what is the HUID. And with that, going into the BIS Care App, they can always check and they can then keep a record. So if they find any thing which is not correct, or if whatever they have bought is not as per that, they can always, there's a BIS complaint in the Care App where they can always complain. So that is the system which they can do if they are buying online jewelry. If they're buying physical, definitely they can check the HUID then and there itself. For the bullion case, right now, it's not yet mandatory. It will soon be, BIS is working on that to make it mandatory. It's a voluntary this thing. Now here, bullion happens in two cases, where coins as well as the bullion, which is, I would say, the bullion bars which is there. So I'll talk more on coins, because coins can come in 24 karat also and 22 karat also. Right now, 24 karat coins are not hallmark, but they are produced mostly by BIS accredited refineries there. But if it is 22 karat coin, they should again do the same thing, because as per the mandatory obligation, the HUID has to be marked on the coins. And once they see, whenever they are buying the coins, they can see if it is 22 karat. And physically, when they get the coin, they can always check it, the HUID, and then check it out who is the manufacturer.
So whenever someone makes an investment in buying those coins, gold or silver, or the bars, small bars that are being sold by MMTC and lots of other players as well, there would be a hallmark which I can check on the BIS portal and also then use it for resale as well. Is that what you're saying?
So it's all for, currently it is all for the 22 karat jewelry, 22 karat coins or jewelry, not for the pure gold, because pure gold coins are also there. Is either it is in 99.5% purity or 99.9%, and like MMTC PAMP makes 99.99% purity. So all those are there, where there is a validity which they could always check whether the company is already, or the refiner is accredited to a BIS accredited refiner or not.
With a lot of first-time buyers, people who just get into their first job, and as an investment or as an article of jewelry, they would want to buy a golden. So what are the three things that one has to keep in mind while buying a jewelry as regards hallmarking is done? So what do we do?
Okay. First thing is, whenever you are thinking of planning to buy a jewelry, you are going to a jewelry shop. First thing you see is, this BIS logo on the jewelry shop. That is, it is registered with BIS. You will get the hallmark jewelry.
So only the registered jewelry shops will have those.
Yes.
No one else can have those BIS. Okay.
So first thing is, you have checked the BIS logo on the jewelry shop. When you go inside, you ask for the lens. When he gave you the jewelry article, like this is the jewelry article, and you want to check, ask him for the HUID where he has marked it on the article.
Okay.
Then you ask him for the lens. It is mandatory for all the jewelers to keep a lens of 10 times magnification, so that a customer can check the HUID number there and then, because written in very small numbers. Right. It may not be visible with the naked eyes. So it is mandatory for the jewelers to have the lens. They cannot deny that to the customer. Once you check that HUID number, as I said earlier, you check it in your BIS Care App. Once you are satisfied, all the details are provided there, you are sure, you are safe, what you are buying is genuine gold.
Genuine gold.
Yeah.
So is there when common people buy common items like household outfit, they also get a guarantee card or something. So is there a hallmarked card that is also issued with the jewelry? No, it's not.
No. There's only an invoice. My request to all the consumers will be to always take a copy of the bill from the jeweler.
Right.
Because if you find something is wrong in it, you can always complain with the bill. Without bill, it becomes very difficult to correlate, to ask the jeweler or the AHCs who has done the marking. Yeah. And one more thing, if you find the purity of the article is less than the declared purity, then the customer can get 2 times the value of the difference in purity from the jeweler.
Okay. So if it's 24 carat and I'm sold 20 carats, 4 carats.
4 carat, just उस टाइम का जो वैल्यू होगा उसका 2 times 4 कैरेट इज जो लेसर है उसका वैल्यू ज्वेलर से कस्टमर को मिलेगा.
So that's a huge safeguard.
Yeah. And one more provision we have made is, earlier customers cannot get their jewelry tested. So we have made that provision also. Now customer can go to the AHCs, they can get their jewelry tested. If they are only testing for approximate value, which is XRF के through आप रख करके jewelry का आपको value मिल जाएगा, it is free of cost. But if you want the fire essay actual value, then it will cost you 200 rupees.
200 rupees per article.
It is actually 45 rupees per article. We have for a one lot, it's 200 rupees. So if you're taking only one article, then it will become one lot. So you'll have to pay 200 rupees for it, and you will get a test report with it,
Okay.
issued by the Essing and Hallmarking Center. So those are the provisions that have been made for the consumers.
How do you enforce that hallmarking? All BIS registered jewelers are doing hallmarking. Are there inspections? Are there raids that are conducted? What are the powers that BIS draws from its own act for enforcement of hallmarking?
Yeah, BIS has search and seizure powers under its act. So what we do to check randomly on sampling basis, we go to the market to these jewelers who are selling the hallmark jewelry. We go and draw the market samples from them. And we have got 9 own laboratories where we send those market samples for testing. And if the results are okay, then they can continue with their businesses. If something is wrong with the result, if the result is less than 40 ppt, what they have declared, and the purity is coming less than 40 ppt, then we cancel the license of the jeweler as well as of the Essing and Hallmarking centers if the results are less than that. And where there is a misuse of the hallmark, or you are saying like the fake hallmarking is happening, then we do, if we get to know something is happening, we get some information, then we conduct search and seizure and we seize all the gold, and then as per our act, we go for the prosecution in the court of law.
Mr. Goel, what future do you see of hallmarking? Is there in future do you see hallmarking also being done through blockchain, can be tracked, or QR code? Is that what the future may lie ahead?
So what I would say is, and I've been discussing with BIS also, first is the most important is making the process more accountable, where each and every process is accounted for and is seen by the BIS at its portal. Right now, they've started with XRF, addition of the weighing balance, and the testing will come soon, so that the whole process of hallmarking becomes accountable, and there's nobody who can make any changes in that. That is the first thing. And the moment that comes, I think the future, we can go internationally also. Currently, we are hallmarking here. And if I'm sending any jewelry to, say, UK or London, there are 4 hallmarking centers there where they test all that pieces before they go into the consumer market. So if we become an accredited hallmarking system, we can always work out globally also, and definitely the trust increases overall.
In one sentence, if you can, to gold buyers, silver buyers, what is it that they should look for when they buy? I'll start with Mr. Gupta and then Mr. Goel.
I'll simply say hallmark hai to sona hai, hallmark hai to chandi hai. Be a vigilant customer. Check the HUID on BIS Care App before buying.
Mr. Goel.
Yeah, I think I echo the same thing. You should have, because a lot of people buy it, फिर वो bill goes कहीं चला जाता है, कहीं रख देते हैं. The most important, if you're buying an expensive piece or you're buying a piece, have those records, have the HUID number. If you can immediately go to the Care App, also have the Hallmarking Center number, so that you are very clear that you have everything in record. Whenever needed, you can use it, this thing. And it also helps you when you return back the jewelry, you get fair value of whatever you have bought.
Thank you very much. It was an enlightening discussion. Ms. Gupta, Mr. Goel, thank you very much for speaking to us.
Thank you very much.